I never believed in omens or the stories my grandmother told about death lingering in places like hospitals, waiting patiently like an old friend. But that night in the ICU, something sat beside me on the bed. It wasn't there for me. My name is Elena, and this happened last winter during what should have been a routine surgery recovery. It started innocently enough. I'd been admitted for appendicitis, sharp pain that hit like a knife in the gut. The operation went fine, they said. I woke up groggy in a private room on the 3rd floor, monitors beeping steadily. The hospital was old. One of those creaky buildings from the 70s with fluorescent lights that hummed too loud. That first evening, as the nurses dimmed the lights for night shift, I felt a chill. Not from the air conditioning. It was like the room had gotten heavier, the shadows longer. I glanced to my left, toward the empty chair by the window. For a split second, I thought I saw a figure, tall, hooded, just sitting there. But when I blinked, it was gone. Exhaustion from the anesthesia, I told myself. Nothing more. Sleep came in fits that night. Around midnight, the beeps from my IV machine lulled me, but then I heard it. A soft sigh, like someone exhaling right next to me. I turned my head slowly, heart picking up. The chair was empty, but the bed dipped slightly on the edge, as if someone had just sat down. No one was there. I pressed the call button, and a nurse came in, checked my vitals. "You're fine, Han. Just rest." She left, and the room fell silent again. Too silent. No distant footsteps in the hall, no muffled voices from the nurse's station. Just that weight on the mattress, invisible but undeniable. The next morning, I mentioned it to the doctor during rounds. He chuckled, said it was common, post-op hallucinations from the meds. Your mind plays tricks in these places. I nodded, but as he left, I caught a glimpse out the window, the parking lot below, shrouded in fog, and for a moment, a shadow moved across the glass, like a cloak fluttering. I shook it off, and tried to focus on recovery. But that afternoon, while dozing, the sigh came again. This time, accompanied by a whisper, faint, like wind through cracks. It wasn't words, just a low murmur that raised the hairs on my arms. I kept my eyes closed, pretending to sleep, but I felt it watching me. By evening, the unease had rooted deeper. The hospital felt isolated, like the world outside had faded. My roommate, wait, no. I was alone in the room, but it didn't feel that way. I texted my sister, told her I was spooked. She replied with jokes about hospital ghosts, but I couldn't laugh. As night fell, the figure returned. Not in the chair this time, but right on the bed, inches from my side. I saw it clearly now, a tall, gaunt shape, shrouded in darkness, face hidden under a hood. It didn't move, didn't speak, just sat there, still as stone. My pulse raced on the monitor, but I couldn't scream. It was like my voice was trapped. The thing turned its head slightly toward me, and I swear, under that hood, there were no eyes, just voids. I must have passed out from fear. When I woke at dawn, it was gone. The nurse brought breakfast, and everything seemed normal, but I overheard her talking to another staff member in the hall. Room 312's patient isn't looking good. Family's on the way. Room 312 was next door. I strained to listen, but their voices faded. That day, I tried to distract myself with TV, but the static between channels sounded like whispers, and in the reflection on the screen, I kept seeing that shadow lurking behind my bed. The calls started that night. Not phone calls. Soft, echoing voices from the vents or under the door. Soon, just that one word, repeated like a mantra. I pulled the covers up, but the bed dipped again. The figure was back, closer this time, its hooded form leaning slightly as if listening to something I couldn't hear. I whispered, "What do you want?" No answer. But the monitor in the next room flatlined, a long, piercing beep that cut through the walls. Nurses rushed past my door, voices urgent. Code blue, 312. The figure didn't react. It just sat there, unmoving, as if it had been waiting for that exact moment. After the chaos died down, silence blanketed the floor. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, the weight beside me heavier than ever. Folklore my grandmother spoke of flooded back, tales of the Reaper not as a killer, but a companion, sitting with the dying until their time came. But why me? Why sit here if it wasn't my turn? The whispers grew. Not you. Clear now, directed at me. Relief washed over me, then horror. If not me, then who? I glanced at the wall separating my room from 312. The patient there. Had it been for them? The next few days blurred. The figure became a constant presence, appearing at dusk, vanishing at dawn. It never touched me, never spoke beyond those murmurs. But each night, another code blew somewhere on the floor. Room 305, then 318. Alarms blaring, feet pounding, then quiet. And each time, the figure seemed satisfied. I stopped eating, stopped sleeping properly. The doctors ran tests, concerned about my vitals dipping. Stress, they said, but I knew better. One evening, as the sun set, I mustered the courage to speak to it. "Why are you here?" The hood turned, and a chill wind filled the room, though the windows were sealed. The whisper came, "Waiting." Discharge day finally arrived. I packed my things, eager to leave. But as the nurse wheeled me out, I passed room 312, door ajar, bed empty, sheets fresh. In the elevator, a mirror reflected the corridor behind us. There, in the shadows, the figure stood, watching, not following. In the car ride home, I felt lighter, the dread lifting. It's been months now. I'm healthy, back to normal life. But sometimes, in quiet moments, I hear that sigh. And I wonder, who it's sitting with now, because death doesn't leave empty-handed. It just moves to the next bed.